Good evening.
Hi there.
Hi, Anna. Hi. I'm just going to introduce us and then I'm going to jump in and I'll introduce you. So, evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Women and Wanderlust Wednesdays. Wanderlust Women Wednesdays. Real women on Wanderlust Wednesday. Whatever we call it, we seem to call it something different every week. But the purpose of this little 15-minute slot is to chat to real women. And right now we're chatting to real women across the United States about why they love where they live in the UK. In the USA. We're taking you beyond the guidebooks, beyond the blogs, and we're getting down and dirty with those in the know. And tonight I am really excited to be chatting to a Southern belle from Nashville in Tennessee, the lovely Anne Elizabeth. Thank you for joining me, Anne Elizabeth.
Yes, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for asking me.
How are you?
I'm great. It's a gorgeous day here in Nashville. It's about 65 degrees, sun is shining, and it's just the epitome of spring. So it's a great day.
Unlike it is here right now in the UK, where we've had the most craziest storms. Tell me, before we go any further, what is a honky tonk?
A honky tonk. So we have an entire strip in Nashville that goes right down the middle of downtown called Broadway. And a honky tonk is basically a bar/restaurant that plays live music basically from the time they open till the time they shut down, where you can go in and hear up and coming bands. You can go in and a star may have jumped up on the stage, and they've been around for years and years. Obviously, Nashville has kind of come into its own in the last 10 years or so. But I mean, these have been around for years and years, and it's truly just, I mean, we're called Music City, and it's part of the heartbeat of Nashville.
And how many honky-tonk bars do you have in Nashville?
Wow, a lot more now. I mean, there used to be, a handful. I would say probably close to 40 or 50 probably now, not all right on that strip. But, I mean, you can find live music across the city any day of the week.
And I know that obviously we all over here in the UK, correct me if I'm wrong, associate this part of America, of course, with the one and only Elvis Presley. Is it all sort of Elvis crooning, or tell me, what type of genres do you get in Nashville?
Well, so Elvis is really actually going to be more Memphis, which is in West Tennessee. We are definitely more centered around country music, traditional country music, gospel music. This is where the home of the Grand Ole Opry and the Ryman Auditorium, which is an internationally acclaimed music venue. But that's really where Music City kind of came up. But you can really find all genres now. I mean, you can find hip hop, you can find a huge rock community. So it's really expanded quite a bit.
And you can just I can get off the plane, I can arrive in Nashville, I can check into my hotel, and I can just go out at night. Where am I going to head to? Where am I going to go to get the best night out?
Yes, and honestly, you will actually get off the plane and there'll be live music in the airport.
So there's live music in the airport as soon as you land?
Everywhere. There is live music everywhere. And I think Nashville does such a great job of that. We've got so many talented musicians. And so you can literally step off the plane and you're in Nashville.
And you get into a cab. What's the journey time into the center of town?
Into the center of town, you can be downtown in 15 minutes from the airport.
Okay, cool. And in terms of the size of the city, if we were to compare it to somewhere in the UK, could you, is it sort of Manchester? Is it London?
It's definitely not London. I would say about 1.5 million people.
Okay.
It's a pretty tight-knit community, so it feels smaller and closer and warmer than if something was really, really spread out. We do have a ton of space here, but it doesn't feel like a huge city. You don't feel like you're going into New York or Dallas, Texas, or even Atlanta for that matter. It really feels like a tight city.
And I've woken up on the first morning. I've been out the night before. I've got a raging hangover. I've had the best night ever. Where do I head to as a local for the best slap-up breakfast to cure my hangover?
So, this is a secret. So y'all are getting in on it. And if I get there and it's packed and it's y'all's fault, I'm going to be upset. But it's called Big Owls Deli is the name of it. And it
Big
is
Owls Deli.
Big Owls Deli. And there's tons of great restaurants in Nashville. I mean, our culinary scene is phenomenal. I mean, there's great places. Biscuit Love, which is in the Gulch and also in Hillsborough Village, is a great place to go. But Big Owls Deli is really, it's like my hidden gem.
And that's in downtown?
It is in an area called Germantown that is just adjacent to downtown.
Oh, I'm sort of conjuring up lots of pickles and salt beef and all sorts of delicious Hanover things.
Biscuits and gravy and ham and bacon and yes, all of that.
So here at Girl About, we tend not to go and check into the Hilton or, you know, a Holiday Inn. Or we like the boutiques. We like the sort of independent properties. Where do I stay in Nashville if I want somewhere, you know, cool and independent?
So we have actually an entire street, 4th Avenue, that is downtown that is called Boutique Row. They're all independently owned hotels that are boutique hotels. You've got one called the Bobby, you've got one called the Dream, you've got one called the Noel. I'm partial to the Noel because my family is from here, and so it used to be a hotel where my mom had her debutante at 15 years old, but then it turned into an office building and just recently was converted back to a boutique hotel. But that said, there are so many cool properties, and I work a lot with Airbnb and VRBO owners, and so especially there's a development called the Gallatin that just opened up this weekend. It's in East Nashville, which is the really cool, hip part of town, and it is phenomenal. Check it out, the Gallatin, and they've converted an old church into a hotel, and they donate a portion of their profits from every stay to help in homelessness.
So is that sort of self-catering or is it a hotel?
It is. It is self-catering. It is, so it's funny. It's concierge-less, but that's where my services come in.
So we're going to move into your services now. So tell us a little bit, Anne Elizabeth, what it is that you do, because it sounds, I've been looking on your website and you've got these grazing boards, which are all the craze right now.
That's all the craze. And that is kind of what I have been doing mostly during the pandemic, just because people weren't traveling as much. But what I mainly do is work with Airbnb and VRBO rental management companies to partner so that if you were to book either a Airbnb or one of these hotels that is touchless service, they would give you my contact information so I can come in and stock your fridge ahead of time, stock your bar ahead of time, set up a private wine pairing, lay out your mimosa bar before you even get up in the morning, have your biscuit bar so you don't even have to go anywhere to get your hangover food.
Oh my God, this sounds incredible. So actually, I don't really need to go to Big Owls. I can stay in my Airbnb and I can drink the most amazing Bloody Marys that you're going to make me for my breakfast.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, wow, that's a fantastic concept. So you're essentially going in and doing all of that stuff that I suppose the concierge would do in a hotel. So you're getting the best of both worlds, aren't you, really?
Yeah, and I mean, and you name it. I mean, I'm kind of the person that you can dream it up and we can do it. If it's, booking a private songwriters night where you bring in some hit songwriters, I've done that. I've set up a crawfish boil, you name it. I mean, really, it's the sky's the limit.
So if I was to come to Nashville with a whole lot of my girlfriends and we were to hire and my friend's getting married next year, she's going to Ibiza. I'm seriously considering saying, forget Ibiza, let's go to Nashville.
Yes.
Let's get a really cool house and get Anne Elizabeth over to do a cracking catered party. That sounds amazing.
Yes, it is. I mean, it really is fun. And I get to know my visitors that are coming simply because they're usually coming for something big, their bachelorette party, a 50th birthday, something like that. And so just making sure the flowers are there and the welcome baskets and the balloons if they want balloons. I mean, you name it. And it's really fun to get to work with the people I work with.
Tell me, we've spoken a lot about Nashville from a hangover, going out, perspective. So let's talk about families. So obviously I have a family, I have young children. If I was to come to Nashville for a few nights, what would you suggest that I do with them?
There are some really cool things to do here. And this is where I say that I'm a 4th generation native Nashvilleian, which I'm very proud of. Natives are getting fewer and fewer here because we are such a great destination for people to move to. And so I raised my family here. I was raised here. And so things like the Adventure Science Center, it's a fantastic science museum we have here. Our zoo is phenomenal and getting better all the time. And then, if you really want to immerse your kids, there are exhibits at the Country Music Hall of Fame, at the Ryman Auditorium, where you can take them, and they're kid friendly. I mean, not your 2-year-old more than likely, but there are definitely parts of Nashville that are great for the whole family. And honestly, if you've got slightly older kids, they can go to the honky tonks before 5 p.m. so that they can actually experience the live music.
Well, that was my next question, was what's the situation with children in the bars? They are allowed to go in there.
You're allowed to go take your children in before 5 p.m. Yeah, so they can experience it because they all serve food. And it's great. Grab a table if you can grab one. Grab a table and listen to the music.
And do you need tickets to go into, if there's live music? Is it just a case of you rock up and you find a table and it's there?
And the majority of them do not have cover charge. I mean, that's part of the uniquity of Nashville is it's all about the music. And so the majority of these don't charge a cover charge. And you may have to wait in line for a little bit, especially on the weekend nights. But in the afternoons, you can really just walk down Broadway, Honky Tonk Row, and pop in.
And what in terms of sort of length of stay, how many nights do I really need in Nashville to do it justice?
If you are coming to Nashville, I would say you need 3 nights. Come in on a Thursday. If you can get in midday, spend Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, because there obviously people come in and all they do is go to Broadway and the honky tonks. But Nashville, Tennessee is such a beautiful place. There are so many great hiking trails. That was one of my hidden things I was going to share with you. But there's great museums. I mean, we just opened up the National Museum for African American Music, which is phenomenal. The Musicians Hall of Fame is really cool because it gives you a behind the scenes look. And I mean, as cheesy as it sounds, the Bluebird is still a staple. It's still, because the songwriters are really the heartbeat of this city.
And if I was to obviously come over and I wanted to pair Nashville with a wider fly drive through Tennessee, yep. What sort of beyond the cities that we should be considering visiting? Any hidden gems?
Yeah, so if you are super into music, Memphis is great. It's only a 3-hour drive, and it's really focused on the blues, which is awesome because it's at the base of the Mississippi Delta. Also, Chattanooga is a really great spot if you're really into the outdoors. It's Chattanooga.
Okay.
And then Atlanta is only a 4-hour drive.
Oh, Atlanta in Georgia, next door.
That's right.
So you've got quite a lot of places that you can go and visit on that fly drive. Brilliant. And lastly, if you were showing your best friend around Nashville, somebody who hadn't been visited before, where would you take her first?
Well, so I already told you about Big Owls.
Yeah, Big Owls is firmly rooted.
But I think just because I love music, the first thing I would do would be either find a concert at the Ryman or a show at the Grand Ole Opry, because that's just, it's the heart and soul of Nashville. And, I love the outdoors, as you probably noticed. And there's this really cool place called Hidden Lake that is west of Nashville by about 20 minutes. And I love it because it's a throwback to the 1930s. It's this swimming hole that had also this grand ballroom dance floor up overlooking the lake, and you can still see it. And it's a super easy hike. So those are kind of your in-town and your out-of-town options.
So take your hiking boots as well as your heels and your cowboy boots for dancing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what's the dress code like? That's a good question, actually. What's the dress code like? What am I packing? Yeah,
so we're a pretty casual place. Most of our nicest restaurants, you can go in with jeans and a cute shirt and your heels on. And, we see a lot of cowboy boots come through. You don't see a whole lot of natives wearing your cowboy boots and your short skirts, but we see a lot of people doing that. It's a laid back place where it's kind of a come as you are and enjoy it.
It sounds brilliant. Somebody's just said so many flights into Atlanta. Yes, there is a really good flight schedule from the UK to Atlanta, so you could drive from Atlanta, hire a car, and then drive over into Tennessee and, of course, into Nashville. Well, I am totally sold, and I am sold on this concept of forgetting the hotel, doing some self-catering accommodation, and getting you into cater. I love that idea. That is brilliant.
Yeah, I'm here to do it.
Anything else you want to drop in before we say goodbye?
Well, I will plug that Nashville does have one direct flight from London to Nashville on British Airways, and that came a few years ago. That's a great option. I flew to London. I got back to Nashville 2 days before the entire world shut down after visiting my brother in London. But Nashville is open, so we right now just opened up. There are no restrictions on number of people in restaurants and bars. We have a phenomenal culinary scene. And it's just a really good place to be. It's great for families. It's great for friends. It's great for couples. It's just, I'm really proud to live here.
Weather? What's the weather like throughout the year?
Weather is, right now, spring is phenomenal. Fall is beautiful. Summer is hot. It's going to be hot. I mean, it just is. And the winter is really pretty mild. I mean, we really have a good winter. My favorite month in Tennessee and Nashville is October. That's my favorite month.
Do you get the whole sort of fall foliage that you get?
Leaves are gorgeous. Yep, leaves are gorgeous. You feel the briskness in the air. That's my favorite time.
Wow. Sally's saying she loves the sound of this. She wants to go. Thank you. Me too. That was brilliant. Thank you so much, Anne. And we will be in Tennessee, in Nashville, very soon, I am sure.
Yes.
Have a great evening. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, don't hesitate to reach out when you come in town.
I will be back next week with another Wanderlust Woman, Real Woman Wednesday. Not sure where we're going next, but we'll let you know very soon. And thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.